Howdy folks, it's been a little while. I'm here to talk about plumbing and flooding. This is a new map. This is actually not a new map. You guys have seen this one. I've been working on this one for a while. The Dwarves have been happy and prosperous, like 10 years in game, I want to say. And the issue, it's actually been kind of a fascinating issue. We kind of have like a Venice, like City of Venice kind of thing going on, where the aquifers are so... they're weak aquifers, but they're so pervasive, both in terms of Z levels, like depth, and in terms of across the whole map, X and Y axis, that I'm constantly, and you'll see in this footage, the whole thing, it's great for my dwarves because every single level has constant waterfalls of the aquifers producing water. It's like slightly flooded, and then it hits a drain. Anytime I find a totally flooded room or my dwarves start getting trapped, I just kind of dig straight up from below and vent that water straight down, just like all these sewer systems that end up eventually, I still haven't figured it out, but eventually, hopefully, just kind of drain off the sides of the map and or into the cavernous lakes, such that my dwarves are getting the waterfall action, but they're not constantly being forced to learn how to swim. So that's what I got going on. I wanted to show you guys. It's a pretty good fortress. It is honestly pretty amazing. I haven't done any hacking on their moods. Everybody is happy because, it's a safe fortress. It's good enough. Just constant waterfall therapy for any dwarf moving through the fortress at all, which is nice, just as long as I can get it to not flood. And it is kind of like a long-term, slow burn kind of problem and solution. I'll get there eventually, and then hopefully something more interesting will happen in this fortress I can show you next time. I just wanted to do a quick check-in and just talk about plumbing, so that's what I would recommend. If you have a flooded room because you've left an aquifer for so long, I would say the best way that I've learned how to deal with it, especially if it's an aquifer on sandy levels or clay levels where you can't carve fortifications to drain it on that level, what you want to do once it's already flooded, it's ruined, you can't really dig through it, is just go underneath it from the dry stone levels underneath, and then carve stairs straight up. And then the dwarves who are doing that are probably going to get washed all the way back down the stairs and maybe die, but hopefully not. The idea being that they will just get washed down. They might get hurt, but when they hit the level that you're digging up from, ideally you have that prepared. You have fortifications, it drains off the edge of the map, or it just spills out into a huge area. You'll see there's a few floors deep in my caverns where it's just a huge, big wet puddle basically from the water draining. And it's pretty fun. You definitely don't want to dig straight down. It's kind of like Minecraft in that way. You don't want to dig straight down. And the reasons are similar, but the issues you can run into are a little bit different. So if you dig straight down, all right, I got interrupted in the middle of that sentence, but the end of that thought was just going to be that if you dig straight down, of course, the water immediately pools into it, and then you have a little swimming pool that doesn't actually let you drain anything. So you actually you got to dig up. That's the point. You got to pop the bubble from the outside with an exit strategy in mind. With that said, I am now recording this 2 days later, the second half, 2 days later, and I am lucky enough to be sitting right by you might be able to hear the bubbles, sitting by a little private rooftop pool. And that got me thinking, I got all this extra water. Dwarven pumping technology is a thing. Maybe my next mega project needs to be a rooftop pool. So I'll try to put a little footage of that in here. I'm going to start just pumping water, just straight up, just getting it up anywhere I can. Maybe get some waterfalls on the surface, but definitely get some some illogically high Z-level wells and things like that, some waterworks. Just playing with the water is always, I think I've said this in other videos, but playing with the water is some of the most fun you can have in peacetime. Obviously, warfare is quite fun too, but in peacetime, funny water and magma tricks are some of the best fun you can have. So I'll put some footage of that in there. Just checking in with everybody. Glad you joined me. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. Try to hype me. That's the new YouTube thing. Apparently, you can hype people. It algorithmically sends the video. I'd love to see that if possible. But no pressure. Thanks for joining me. And I'll catch everybody soon in the next one.